Let us look at a new exercise, and in this exercise we are going to create a student information system wherein we are going to store the student number, name, address and the course, followed by the marks in 3 subjects. When we click on this button, we are supposed to find the sum, percentage and grade. As well as we are supposed to show the result in a separate page. So let's go ahead and let's start developing this application. I'm going to go to the file and I'm going to create a new project. And in this project, I'm going to select the C# application. And the C# application, I'm going to find the web page, and I'm going to create an empty web page, and I will give a name. The name is anything you can give to this project. So I'm going to say students marks details. After that, I'm going to create a project. Now I am supposed to store these many information like the student number, name, address and course, followed by the 3 subjects. And I am going to store the sum, percentage and grade along with the student table. So let's go to the project, and I'm going to go to the Solution Explorer. So suppose if the Solution Explorer is not visible, go to the View and then go to the Solution Explorer. So your Solution Explorer will be available under the View and the Solution Explorer. So you can find the Solution Explorer here. Once you are in the Solution Explorer, I'm going to add a new database to this. So I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to add a new data source to it. For that, I will right click on the solution and I will go to the add, and under the add I'm going to say new item. So once we are there in the new item, I'm going to search for the database. So here you have data, and under the data I'm going to select the SQL database. You can give any name to your database. So I will keep the name as database itself, database 1 itself. Let me click add to add the database. The Visual Studio is going to tell you that it's going to copy it under a new folder. Let me do that and let me click yes to that. So once the Visual Studio completes its work, you will find a database added to your project. So once the project has been added, now you may have this kind of problem that I am facing here, and that is your SQL server is not running. In that case, click OK and go to the services. So just search for services. So under services, go to the services, and under services search for SQL server. Most of the time the server will be off. You just need to start the server. The reason why the server is off is because the server does take a lot of resources, and the Windows does not want the unnecessary wastage of resources. So you will have to patiently wait for the services to come. Once you get the services, you need to search for the SQL Server services. So you can scroll down to yes, where you have this starting from S, and you will notice that some of these services may not be running. So I will just go here and let's say try to start something. I think this is not really required. I am running my SQL Server browser services. Now if the service is not running, this is not really required. Suppose if the services is not running, if this is not running, right click and then say start. It is already started, so I can only stop then. And you need to also have this browser services running. Just start that services. That's all you need to do it. So let me try one more time to add this database. Let me click on add, and once that is done, hope it is added now. So you will get it. So if the service is not running, just start the service and then it will start functioning. So you need to do is right click on it and start. If the start is not available, whenever you start a service, suppose if the start service is not available, go to the properties and make this one automatic delayed or something, and then you get this start enabled. Suppose if that is the case, when you right click on it, if you don't get the start, just go to the properties of it and then start doing the start service. Okay, so I hope you'll be able to do that. So let me right click on this database. So I have the database in my solution explorer. Right click on it and then I'm going to say open. When you try to open it, you will find the data explorer being open, that is a server explorer being open, and you will notice that all your database is there, it is connected, and under tables you will find that there is nothing is available under the table. So let's create a student table. So I'm going to right click on it and say add new table to my table. So I'm going to add a new table. So once I click on add table, it does take some time to start everything. So you will be able to see the table creation wizard created by the Visual Studio, and there you need to add the following information. So let's look at what we are supposed to do it. So I'm going to put the student number, student name, address, course, and so on and so forth. So I will have a student number. I will take yes number as the student number, and you can take roll number, you can take register number, it's up to you. You can take integer if at all you really feel like. I don't mind taking anything else also. So if you want, you can take it as integer. You can take varchar also. Then I have the student name, so I'll take it as yes name, and let me go here and I'm going to search for varchar. So you will find that varchar 50, maybe I will take varchar 50. Then you have the other fields. So let's look at what are the other fields that we have here. The other fields that we have here is the address and the course. So let's fix those two problems. So I'm going to add the address here. So address, because I'm going to type varchar here. So varchar, let me make it as 150. Maybe address I'm going to type slightly longer. Let me take this course again, varchar. I will not take any other data type. Varchar, let it be 50, and I'm going to take the few marks over here. So let's look at what else they have taken. So I have three subjects here, subject 1, subject 2, subject 3. So let me take subject 1, subject 2, subject 3 there. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to just say subject 1. I will take integer. I think in the question that is given over here, they have mentioned that you are supposed to take I think I went slightly higher, I think. Okay, so let me come back to that point where we have our question. I think I skipped that question. Just give me a second. Adding not this, where is it? Student table. Okay, I missed it. Okay, student table, student number, and I think marks in 3 subjects. They have not mentioned the data type in any case. So let me take the simplest one, integer. You can take anything. So I'll take it as int. If you want, you can take number. It's up to you. Let me take this as subject 1 and let me take this as subject 2. Again, I'll take it as integer. You can take float, you can take number, you can take any data type. That does not make much of a difference. And I need this as integer, and I need a total for that. So let's go to the total, and again let me take a int. You may say, no, that is going to be long. If it is so, let it be. And finally I need to calculate. Let me slightly go down and let me show you the other thing that I need a percentage and grade. So this percentage now, let me put that percentage. Percentage can create a problem. So you can say number, and let's say number 10,2, and you can make this as a number. If you are from the world of Oracle, you can make this one as something different. It's up to you. And finally you need a grade there. Let me take it as varchar. That's all I need to do. And if you try to save this without giving a name to the table, I try to save this one, it's going to ask me for the name. If you want the name, you can go to the properties of the table and you can specify the name here. It is also possible to go to the properties and name, but let me simply save this one. When I try to save it without giving a name to the table, the SQL Server is going to ask me for the name. So I'm going to say std master. You can give any name for that. So I've just given std master. The name is obviously not an issue at all. Let's click OK. So that's all we need to do. My table is ready. Everything is working fine. So let me go to the Solution Explorer now, and in the Solution Explorer let me add a page to this. So right click and I'm going to say add a new item. So I'm adding a new item. So right click on the Solution Explorer. Again, the Solution Explorer is not visible. Go to the view, and under view you are going to see the Solution Explorer, and right click and then say add new item. And once you have the item, I want just the under web, I want a web form. That's all. You can take the web, and under web you can have a web form. That's all. HTML page. You can give it any name. I'm going to give it a name as home. It is up to you. You give any name to that. So the name will not make much of a difference. So my home page is ready. Let me go to the design here. So let me go to the design, and I'm going to set everything in the design itself. So I'll click on the design, and I am going to put some details over here, and if you notice that it should come in a slightly neat way. So let me go ahead and let me add the details. I need some tables with many few rows over here. So let me do that part. So let me go to the table in the let me go to the table here. Under the table I get this insert table. So I'm going to select this insert table. So let me go here and let me take insert table, and maybe I need 2 rows and 2 columns. I will add the column as and when it is required. So I have added 2 columns here. The first thing that I'm supposed to do is student information. So I'm going to just type that student information. That's all. I press tab. This is what I'm doing. I'm pressing tab one after the other, and I need a few details. So the student number. So I'll just type this student number, and if you notice that it has gone to the extreme side. If you notice onto the other side, the table has gone. Just to keep the cursor here. This is the table. Keep the cursor here. Bring it slightly to the other side. So when you bring it to the other side, so this is how it's going to appear, and this is where we are. I think the Visual Studio is not happy with what I'm doing. Okay, so I have the student name number here. Let me go to the toolbox. Again, the toolbox, if it is not visible, you have to go to the view and then patiently to, search for the toolbars. Okay, so just click on the toolbars and you will get it. Okay, let's go and let me add, keep the cursor here, and I'm going to add a text box there. So we get the ordinary text boxes. So you have it here, the text box. So I'm going to just select this text box. Okay, and let me double click on that text box, and you have your text box added. Let me go here. So you have your text box added. If you want, you can drag it slightly a bit, student number, and then let's press you are here, just press tab. A new row is added automatically for you, and then you have this student name, and then I need a text box. Again, I'm going to keep the cursor here, and just keep the cursor here, and then go here and double click on the text box. You have the second text box being added. I can't show you this one because somehow Visual Studio is not happy with what I'm doing, so it just wants me to go down and be happy at the bottom of the screen. So let me go down, and so let me add a few other things. So I have the address being added, and again the same old trick. Go to the text box, double click on the address. Now address, because it is going to be more than one line, what you can do here to this address is you can go to the properties of the address, right click on it and go to the properties, right click and go to the properties, and once you are in the properties, just search for the multi lines, and you just enable that multiple line. So you get a lot of things over here. So you can say visible, standard mode, and so on and so forth. What you need to do here is search patiently for a single line and make it as multiple lines. So you notice over here that for the text box that I'm using, there is something called as a text mode. Now by default it is in the single line. Just make it as multi-line, and that's it. You have everything running. Just click on this one and make it as multi-line. Now once you make it as multi-line, that's the end of it. It's going to appear like multiple lines. You can have more than one line of the screen, and once you have it here, let me go, and you have your address. Now after this I'm gonna have to go and see what else they require, and I need a course for that. So let me go here and let me say you need a course, and in front of it I need a text box. Okay, so you can type the course here. That's a great idea, but I think I feel like in my exercise, I don't know, in the class I might have used the drop down list, because typing the course may create a problem. So what I need to do is I need a drop down. So let me go here and let me simply drag it down, because I need a few additional things. If you don't feel like, you can remove it. Let me go here and let me add a drop down list there. So if you search for that, you need a drop down list here. Get this drop down list. The reason I'm doing is otherwise searching becomes a bit difficult. So drop down list, just double click on it, double click on this drop down list. So I've just added a drop down list there. So in the drop down list, click here. You have to just click on it and say choose item. that is it. That is the edit item, not the choose item, edit item. And once you do that, once you click on this edit item, you get a few things like this, a dialog box like this. Let's click on this add to add few items. And what are the things that they have added? Let me just say. I think VCMC they are adding. Okay. You can type that. I think you can type it. So it's not a big deal. You can type that. Let me do it here. Okay, it's okay. BC, and the value is let it be BC. Add one more, BCom. You can put the text box here. There's nothing wrong in putting the text box. And then we have B. Okay, that's all. 3 are enough for us. If you want, you can put more. Then nobody is preventing you from doing it. Let me go here and let me add the next. So I'm preserving this text box because I want the text box for some other reason. Let me go here and let me, where is it? Add the marks. So I'm going to type something called as marks, and then the marks in subject 1. So I'll take it as subject 1, and I already have a text box in front of me. And then I'm going to take a subject 2. I'm going to take the text box. It's just adding a text box. It's nothing much that you're doing here. So just adding few text boxes, and maybe I will reduce this size of it. Okay, one more text box that will make the things easier for me. So I'm going to say subject 3 and the text box. Now I need to find the total. So I'm pressing tab every now and then to extend my table. So I'll take the total and one more text box. Now the thing here is there's no need for you're not going to type anything. So let me put a label here. So rather than putting a text box, I'll put a label in front of that. And the Visual Studio is not happy with whatever I'm doing, so it is getting stuck. After that, what you need to do is if you look at here, all these 3 fields which you find it here, all of them they don't need any editing, so you are not putting them for input. So that's not really required that we need to go to them. So I need this total, I need this percentage or sum or total, whatever it is, I need that grade. So I need a percentage. I'll just put the percentage, and let me put the cursor here. Okay, double click on it and put a label. So that's it. And finally I need the last one, and that is the grade, and a label in front of it. So that's all you need to do, and the label. Okay, once we have done with this, once we are done with our work, we need to 2 buttons here. One is to calculate and add, and finally to show something. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's do that. I need to show the result and calculate and add. So I'm going to put 2 buttons here. So let me put the first button on the first side and the other button on the other side. So let's go ahead and let's add a button here. So I'll add 1 button, double click, that's all, the button is there. Add 1 more button, double click, and the button is there for you. And finally I need to show that the record has been added. So I'm going to put 1 more label here, that's all, just to say to the user that something has happened. Otherwise the user doesn't really know what's going on. So 1 additional label. So this is what I'm supposed to do. Now I need to change some properties of this button. So let me go here and go to the properties of this button, right click on this button and just say properties, and on the other side you will see it. So I'm going to say compute and add. This is the first button. Okay, the next button that I'm going to add is a show result. So right click properties, so right click on the button, and this on the text you just say show, not show result. That's all you need to do. We are done with it. Now only thing that we need is a connection to the database. So our project, everything is there, but we are not able to connect to the database. So let's go to the toolbox. Under toolbox you will notice that there are a lot of categories are there. So this is the standard category, and there will be one other category called as if you click on this arrow it's going to expand, if you click it's going to go down. So you can go down and then search for it. Under data you will find SQL data source. So you have this SQL data source. So I have kept my cursor here. Just keep the cursor at some place where you're going to fit it. This is not going to show up on the screen, so it is just for development purpose. So I keep it here and go to the toolbox and double click on SQL data source. Double click on it. It has added. Fortunately it is the data source. You need to configure that data source. So let's click on this and then say there is an arrow. You just notice here there is this arrow. If you click on that you get a small menu here. Click on that configure data source, and you are done. You need a connection, so you're going to get this kind of a big dialog box. You need a connection. Let's go and say new connection. So this is the first connection you're doing. Just click on new connection, and when you click on new connection it's going to ask you for a lot of things there, and I'm going to take if you look at here, I think that connection will be there with me. I don't need to do that if this connection is there. I'm going to just close it just to tell you that this table, I'll just fix it here. This database one will be there. So just click on it, configure, and if you notice that will be there. I don't need to search for it. Database1.mdf is there. It's done. Database.mdf is there. Let me click on next. It's going to ask me the name, whatever the name. I am not really interested in. Let me go to the next one, and it does take some time. Somehow my machine is a bit slow, and you will notice that std master is there and all the fields are there. So we are not going to do anything with respect to this. Let's click next. If you want to test the query, there is nothing, no records are there, so this is going to be absolute rubbish. So let's finish it off. That's all. We have everything done. Now our work is when I double click on this compute button, I need to compute it and then I need to add it to the database. Now the first question comes is let me double click on that. Just double click on this add button. So what did I do is just double click on it. Visual Studio will add the code for button click. So you have it here. Now I need an insert statement. Okay, so let's go here and let's do that. So let me go ahead and let me add the connections for that. Before I do that, I need to calculate a few things. So let me do this part here, and that is I need to calculate the total percentage and grade. So let's do that. I need to get those values from the two fields there. So let's go ahead and let's do that. So I'll take the first one as integer, subject one is so you know what is that I need to convert this, so I'm going to say convert to int. Okay, to int, let me say to int. I'm sorry about that, you have already experienced that. Somehow Visual Studio is creating problem to me, and it skips. Okay, so I will go in the minimum like this. So then int 32, and I think the text box that you are trying to read, so be a bit careful even during the examination, because you don't give the name here. You need to know what is the name of it. Just go to this subject and just look at the name of the text box. This is text box 4, and the next one will be the, if you look at the properties, this will be text box 5, other one will be text box 6. So bit careful during the examination which one you are trying to use. 4, 5, 6 will be the text boxes. So let's go ahead and let's take it from the text box 4, text box 4, and text box 4. I will reduce it in order for you from getting irritated. So text box 4 dot text, you get that. Now I don't need to do it many times, so done. And then I think I closed many things here. Okay, so I think everything is proper now. So just zoom it out. I can't help myself because it's whenever I zoom it out, it's going to create a problem. So this is going to be text box 2, and this is going to be text box 5. Finally, text box 3, and text box 6. And I need to calculate the total. I am taking integer, so let's take the total as s1 plus s1 plus s2 plus s3. That's going to create the total for me, and that's all I need to do. I have the total with me. I need to find the grade and percentage. Let me find the percentage. So let me say double, and let me say percentage. Double percentage, let it be equal to es total by 3, and that's all I need to do. Total by 3, and let me check the grade. So if say if you have 300, so if it is greater than say I'm just giving you something. Okay, if it's greater than 160, what is greater than 160, by the way? If the total is greater than 160, you can put anything here. So let's say grade is, let me create a string here, string and grade. Let me initialize it with something. Okay, if that's the case, grade is a plus. Let me, I'm just putting it. Okay, and let me close that. Else, if I don't need to type this whole thing, you know, I have done it in the class also. You just copy this and then just paste it rather than typing it. If the grade is greater than 120, I don't know, I will just put that I think this is going to be maybe a plus is 250. So 250, 200, you just put the grade. Okay, there's nothing. If it's that that is yeah, a plus. if it is now I'm going to just copy this whole thing, else if a few else condition, that's all. If it is greater than say 150, you give b plus, that's all. And again I'm pasting it now. If it is greater than 100, I know, okay, then b, otherwise else c. Okay, you just put the grade, it's nothing much to be done over here. And the grade is happens to be C, that's all. You can put some other interesting one, but that I got the grade there. And I have the percentage, I have the grade, I have the total with me. Now I have to go to the source and then try to insert it. Now how do I insert that thing? So I need the SQL data source one. Now from where did I get that thing? Now if when you added this, you notice that you had this SQL data source one with you, and I am using that, which has the connection to the database, SQL data source one, and I am going to say insert command. So insert command, I will zoom it for you, just I'm not zooming it completely, because it does take it's a bit annoying to see the thing flipping up and down. So I need a SQL command. So from where will I get the SQL command? Just go to the Server Explorer, where you have this data source. Again, if you don't get this, go to the Solution Explorer, right click on this database and then say open. It's going to open it up for you, and then go to the table and then say show the data. You can say new query also. I think that will be easier one. When you say new query, it does take some time. New query, where did it go? Okay, new query, you can do it. Okay, and what did I do is just to show you what did I do. If you have not seen it, right click on it and then say new query. So here you get a new query on the table. You need to do it on the table, right click and new query. So you have the new query, and it's going to ask you for the table on which you want to create. Just put that table by clicking on this add button here. So just add it, and once it is added, just close it. Okay, so once it is added, just close that thing. Now I need to change the command here. So if you click on if it appears, just close it. Once you have added it, just close it, and then change the type of it as insert value. So this is what I really want here, insert value. Okay, so that is what I wanted, insert value. So change the type as insert value and select all the fields. So list number, just give a sample value 101. I'm not going to add anything over here. I'm just getting the SQL statement. So that's all. And maybe address, and keep on doing it and until you get every field there, and one other field course, say BCA, one other subject, say 55 in one subject, say 66, maybe 55 in the other subject, maybe one more 55 in the third subject, and you have total 165, let's say, and you have a percentage, let's say 55%, and you have the grade, say A something. I just get that thing. Now I'm not really interested in this. I'm interested in this part where you have the insert statement. So if you notice that it is not in the one line, you can I think get it in one line. Just get it in one line and be extremely careful when you try to get something in the line. there is a space in between. You need to maintain those spaces. Don't just club them together. So there are spaces, and in the SQL statement, the value after values there must be space. So don't just get them wherever you want it. So maintain spaces in between. So you have everything in one line. Just get that thing as it is right from the beginning. Go from the beginning and then get it till the end. So you get this whole thing. Control C it to copy it. Come back to your source and then just paste it in between the double quotes. So you have your SQL statement with you. Again, I can show you the whole thing. A bit annoying, but okay, you have your full statement here. Now these values has to be replaced. That's all. You need to replace them here. Now how do I replace this 101? Very simple. You go here 101, select it, double click to select it. So two double quotes, that's all. Come in between, add 2 plus. So two double quotes, come in between, add 2 plus. The first one will be the register number. So I will take the text box one. Bit annoying, sorry about that. This is the problem with the Visual Studio, not with me. It is somehow taking the cursor to the end of the screen. I don't know, Microsoft people are happy at the bottom side. So they want us to go down every now and then. So I will take this text box, and that's it, text. That's the first one. Again, maintain this single quote. That's really important. Don't remove this single quote. Just remove the text that has to be replaced. Two double quotes, come in between 2 plus sign. You have it as usual. Next one is text box 2, and please box 2 dot text. I know it is annoying, but I can't help. I'm not playing with that. It is the problem with the software. So you have it here, and then next one is BC. I will do it in normal screen. So hope you get what I'm trying to do. So yeah, I have keep the single quote as it is, two double quotes, get in between 2 plus sign, and this is the text box 3, I suppose. Text box 3 dot text, that's it. And I think yeah, then it is the text box 4. What else we have? The name, text, and the course. This course, yeah, obviously two double quotes, 2 plus sign. Now if you have put the text box, just put the text box. Nobody is preventing you from using the text box there. If you have a text box, put the text box. But I have done a drop down list, so I am just putting drop down list and dot. By now you know very well, from the drop down list whatever you select is called as selected item, selected value. So I just selected that value. If it was a text box, it is going to be a text box, that's all. So if you are putting a text box, it's going to be a text box. It's not something very strange or something. You just put the value there. If it's a text box, text box. If it's a drop down list or drop down list, it is not going to make much of a difference. Replace them as usual, just plus plus, and then we have the other one, annoying, really annoying, but we have to bear it. So text box 4 dot text. Be extremely careful. Now when you try to put these text boxes, these text boxes have some names. This is text box 4. If you look at them, this is going to be, and Microsoft Visual Studio is not happy with anything I am doing. So this is text box 4. So let's go ahead and let's add this text box 4, and then two double quotes, 2 plus sign, and again, now this time it is doing some other strange thing. Now this is going to happen when the software becomes too user friendly, then it becomes much annoying. Okay, so then you have this text box. This is text box 5 dot, where did that plus symbol came from? Okay, text box dot text. Okay, that's it. and then I have one more. For those who are intelligent, you can just copy paste it. So there is no need that you need to type all these things. If you know how to copy paste it, you can copy paste it. So I have all the text boxes have been added. Then this is going to be my total. Again, two double quotes, two plus sign. I gave the variable name. So what I'm putting here is this variable name that I have just calculated. I'm going to zoom it out for you. This is the total that I was calculating, and I am doing that total. That's a variable name. I'm putting it here. So this is that variable name. Where is that thing gone? So this is the total that I am trying to put. This is the total. So total, where did I get that total? Now what is this 55? 55, if you go up and let me, I think it is very annoying. This is the percentage and the one is the grade. I am putting these variable name. I am not putting something from my pocket. This is the variable names that I have declared and I am using them there. So if you have declared other variables, you have to use the same variables here also. So let's go here and that replace that 55 with two double quotes, 2 plus sign, and I think I need a percentage and that's it. And again the grade, if you notice that there is a single quote, so I am not touching that single quote. Two double quotes, 2 plus sign, and then I need that grade. Okay, so you have everything. Once you are doing it, you should not get any squiggly line, red line. If you get a squiggly underline, red color, that means you made a syntax error and then you need to do it one more time. So I am going to now say SQL data source 1, that's it, dot insert. Now this time it is the insert method. So look at this one. This is the method, this is the property. So this is the one that I am calling. And whenever you call a method, you put the two parentheses in front of it, and my label need to be updated. So you have inserted everything. Now once you have inserted, you need to insert update those labels. If you look at you can do it before or you can do it afterwards. It's again up to you. Nobody is saying that you have to do it after inserting, but I'm going to do it. So we have these labels here. I need to update them. So if you look at their properties, label 1, label 2, label 3, I think. So all these 3 labels were there. Fortunately you have to add them, label 3, and the last one happens to be label 4. This is going to be my message. So let me update all the labels there. Now you can do it before adding the inserting into the data source, but I will do it here. Maybe in the class I have done it before. It doesn't matter. At the end you need to just show it. So label 1 happens to show you the text box. So it's going to show you the total. So where did I get this total? Total is that variable I have declared here. Okay, now that is the integer, and you just put this. I think it should go. Okay, if you want to immediately convert a integer, remember this is a text and total is int. If you notice it is declared as int, you can't directly insert it. Just add concatenate it with the string and everything is going to become a string. So next one is my label 2 dot text. This happens to be percentage. Now if you want you can format it, but I will not do it because during the examination you may not be in a position to do all those formatting and all those things. Just get this percentage. Again a percentage, this is if you notice this is double, percentage is double, and this is here you have. Now that is not same as the text here. Now how do you convert it? Just add concatenate it with the string. It's going to keep part. Then you have this label 3 dot text, and I need the grade. Now fortunately if you look at this grade itself is declared as a string, so this is not going to make much of a difference. So I will just add this grade and just put semicolon. You'll not get an error because it's a string. The last label happens to be the one that is at the bottom. So if you look at this label which is there at the bottom, the last one, I need this label to show the user that the things have been done. So let me go here and let me select this label 4 and then just say text, and I'm going to say record has been inserted. Okay, record is inserted. You can give any message. Okay, that's all you need to do. Now once you have done all these things, once you have done the insertion, then you need to just run it just to see whether the things are getting inserted or not. So let's give it a try. Let me save everything and let's run it just to see whether after long struggle whether we are in a position to see the content. So it may take some time because my machine seems to be slow. So I think it is taking more than what I expected it to take, but it does show the result. Once you have inserted, then you need to do the second part, and that is you need to show the result. So once you've done that, when you click on show result, you need to show the result. So like this, that can be done with a simple grid. So if you have a grid here, it's going to show up that. So I don't know why it does take. Okay, so I have the student information. 101 is the name of the student, and say the name is Ravina. Yes, let's say, and address is Car Street. Let's say she's in BCA. Let's say, and she got 78 in the first one, and maybe 89 in the second one, and 95 in the third one. Now I will just click on compute and add. If everything goes fine and it does get connected to the database, my machine is a bit slow. It should add. Okay, so you notice it is adding. Some of the machine is slow. It is adding, and it is also saying the record is inserted. So that means the things are working fine. Let me go ahead and let me go to the database, and let me, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just stop this server from running. So stop that server from running, and if you look at the server explorer now, and if you right click on the server explorer, and then if you look at the show table data on the table, you must see the inserted record. That if you are able to see that thing, then the things are working fine. we have done our work, and you notice it is done. Now only thing that I need to do now is to add a grid here. That's what they've said, a grid here, and just to show the details. So let's go here and let's add one more page to our project. Right click on it, say add new items, and let's go here and let's say add new items, and let me go to the web page, and you can give any name. So I'm just putting the web form, and let me add the name as result. Okay, results. So that's all done. Here it is very simple. Again, as usual, go to this design view and add a grid view. That's all. Go to the toolbox and then search for grid view. So go here and you get this grid view. That's what I wanted. Okay, just double click on that grid view. Where is that grid view? Double click on that grid view, and the thing should go fine. Okay, so you have this grid view. You need a data source. Click on it. You need to, I'll just zoom it out. You just click on this arrow in front of the grid view. Click on this new data source. You get a wizard. That's all. And it does take some time. My machine somehow seems to be slow. I don't know what is the reason, but it is slow. Okay. You need to connect to the data source. It does take time, and once you get connected, if you're watching this video, I'm not editing this video, you can skip slightly forward and then watch that thing, because I can't help myself. It's not showing up. So somehow it is not showing up. In any case, I think I need to restart my system, but that's a different matter altogether. So let's see. Okay, so you have this data source. Let me take a SQL data source, because I did took SQL. I think I took SQL, or no, I took something. Let's say database. Let's click OK. Okay, then I have my database one with me, and let's click next. So I have selected my database one. Let's click next. The name doesn't matter, and oh, this is not the database. I think I have selected MDF. By the way, let me. I'm a bit confused. What did I took here? Is it? Just give me a second. Let's click OK, and sometime it does happen. This is not the database. Let me click on new connection string. If it's not there, what to do? Okay, sometime it does has some problem. I'll take Microsoft SQL Server file. I don't know where is that file now. In my Visual Studio, let me just give me a second. I am not editing. I'm doing it as is, because editing will take a lot of time for me to do it. So this is not the table, but I was supposed to do it. It's not the customer. I'll take the connection string. I think that connection string has it. Okay, that's a connection string that has it. Okay, so if you look at this one, what did I do here is when you add it, just take that SQL data source is correct, and I think that connection string is there already. That connection string is there. I'll take that connection string. Okay. Again, I'm not editing as is. I'm doing it as is because if I edit it, it does take time to render the video. So I have everything with me. Click next. Test the query. You have one table there. Now you may say that, so what about these things which are being shown there? Just ignore them. That's not going to make any difference in your code. As long as your code is working, you can delete it definitely. It will not make much of a difference. So you have everything with you. Now only thing is you need to connect them together. So go here to the home page. Go to this home page, and you have one button, and that is the show result button. Double click on it, and it is very simple. You to get to that page, you just say response dot redirect, response dot redirect, and then specify the page. And my name of this page happens to be result dot I think that page itself is not visible now. Let me take few of them. I think where is that page now? Results.aspx. That's the page. I remember this is the page I am writing. Results.aspx. That's all I need to do. Save it, and let's start with the first page. I will go to the home page first. So I am in the home page. When I run it, I am in the home page. Then I'm going to run that. Okay, so that I can see the content. Now this time it's going to be faster, I suppose, because the database is already running and the server is also running. I need to restart my machine. That's all. So there something has gone wrong, and the machine seems to be a bit slower than I expected it to be. So if I click on this show result, you must be able to see the result. So this is what is required for your examination, and you may say that what about this? If you don't want to see them, just make them as blank. So this label, if you don't want them to be shown, just go to the, I'll first stop it and then just go here and go to this label one. This is not really required. Remember, you do it only once your results are coming. Go to this label, and there is something called as a text in front of the label 1 property. You have a text. You just remove that text, keep it blank, it's gone. Okay, it's going to show you the name of the same thing. You need to do it. Go to the properties. I will lock this one. Remove the text in front of the label, remove it, it's gone. Go here, remove it, it's gone. Go here, remove. I'm not deleting it, I'm just removing the text. That's all. Text that is appearing on the label. Now if you save and run it, you will find only that's a small change that you see there. So you have my table here. Now you notice that's beautiful. Now you need to give the student number 102 and maybe Gayatri. Okay, maybe Manjeshwar. I don't know, and maybe she is from BCom. Where is she? You want 89, 75, and maybe 69, and compute and add. It does take some time, and then you have the result, total, percentage, and the grade, and the record has been inserted. If you click on the show result, it must show the result for you. So that's all. So it does take some time for the database to show up, and this is what you're supposed to do for the examination. All the best for your examination. We will proceed with something else.